To me, the question about the minor use permit, you know, is run with the land required for each event? That is not really the question. It is the question about what's a temporary event. If somebody applies for a temporary event that consists of, I want to do a 500-person wedding on my ag land. Okay, one wedding. That's one thing. Great. If somebody wants to do a 50-person wedding 52 times once a week, you know, again, can they just do a permit? And to me, yeah, either one of those things would get a permit, and whether it segues over into business, it has to do with some of the things we talked about before, you know, how much primary ag land, how much room does this take up, that kind of thing. And so these kind of questions are interrelated, and I'm not comfortable dealing with it in this I'm not comfortable answering that bigger policy question in the context of an MUP.
Well, that's what we're being asked to do.
That really, it doesn't make any sense
at the outset that we can't really punt this one.
I know, but it doesn't make any sense to me to do it, because to me a minor use permit is.
So you ready for my motion yet?
Well, it might no, but a minor use permit is not the point. It isn't, because it's required. You got to get a minor use permit. So it's what's in that minor use permit, right? And whether people, you know, so
here we could say something like. A minor use permit is required for a temporary event, and a temporary event can be whatever the hearing officer thinks it should be, and, you know, over however many days and consecutive whatever. Or we could say a minor use permit is required for a temporary event, and a temporary event is a one-time specified event that is not, does not allow for multiple events over, you know, a period of years.
But that's not what the LUO says. It says a temporary event shall be held in a single location for no longer than 12 consecutive days or 4 consecutive weekends, except where a different time limit is established by other applicable provisions of the county code or through minor use permit approval. So that to me implies that through minor use permit approval, a different time limit can be established.
So
and what that time limit is not where.
Well, that's really what we have to decide. Does a different time limit mean just additional days, or does a different time limit mean an endless number of years into the future forever?
That's the question. That is the question, but that is not the question about time frame. I mean, that's not the question able to be answered by an MUP discussion, a MUP discussion. Well, no, because everything needs a MUP.
I know, but when the hearing officer is issuing the MUP, what can be allowed in that MUP? Does the hearing officer have the discretion to say,
do we have any direction?
It's up to us to determine and give our recommendation to the board about how we think those words should be interpreted.
Let's try to do something here. Okay, yeah, let's try to move forward here. So I think we might agree to a few things. So I think we may agree that a temporary event could be more than one single event, right?
More than a pumpkin patch a year.
More than a pumpkin patch of whatever,
every
4
October.
Weekends or whatever, right? So it could be something more than one single activity, right? Do we agree to that or not?
Sure, you could have it be 5 weekends instead of 4, or you could have it be 20 days instead of 12.
Right, buy them up if your pumpkins go that long.
Right.
Right.
You could have a 30-day.
It could be more than the two specific examples that are listed here. It could be more than 12 consecutive days, or it could be more than 4 consecutive days.
Right. So do we agree to that? That it could be something beyond that. So
sure.
But then I guess maybe we would look at the upper threshold then, because I think we would also all agree that there's a point where an event is not temporary, where it becomes kind of permanent.
Right.
Public assembly, and we have a definition for that. It's not allowed in ag. We know by our land use ordinance it's not allowed in ag. Permanent public assembly, right? So what's our upper threshold that is kind of what we might want to look at, where things start to be kinda not temporary, but permanent public assembly. So maybe we could just
What is that?
look
I mean,
at that, and that's the question, I don't know what it is, but wouldn't we maybe say every weekend, an event every weekend? Let me just throw out there.
You know, this is where I am
get
just
some agreement?
absolutely not willing to have that discussion here. I am not willing to. I am not gonna sit here in half an hour with only the level of staff report we have and only the level of public input we have and just try to make that decision. I just can't. But I'm not going to say whether it's every weekend or every other weekend or every third weekend, or it could be every weekend if it's a wedding of less than 50 people, or every other day if it's a prayer meeting of
I agree with your point. So maybe what we need to do, it's late in the day and there are people for a lot of another item. Maybe we do. I don't know, because I think what ATC is asking here is that we look at this as a single event. I think they're asking for a strict interpretation that each MUP would allow just a specific event.
Well, okay, here staff says an MUP takes 6 to 12 months to give and costs $3,500 to $7,500. You can't do that for a single event.
Well, I think we would all agree to that. And
well, then why are we talking the way we're talking?
But we would also agree then that under temporary, there is going to be reached some maximum threshold too, where it's just not temporary anymore.
Absolutely.
But I agree with you that we're not prepared, we're not able with the information we have maybe to do that today.
Okay, well then, if we're not, that means we're gonna have to continue this. But I appreciate the fact that you're not comfortable opining on this, Commissioner Christensen, but that really is our job. The land use ordinance lays out a process by which
What would your definition be? I mean, I can't even begin to even think about it. I just don't even have a, I
would say less than every week. I would say if something is done every week, maybe as a starting point, it's not so temporary, it becomes kind of regular and permanent.
At the last hearing, we had a testimony from, I believe he was a tomato grower in the Rio Grande area that came in to get a minor use permit to have weddings. And maybe Ms. Law can tell us what that minor use permit entails.
I believe it is Nichols. It's
I believe you're right. That sounds familiar.
20 events per year. It's down in Aurora Grande.
And he's not having a tomato festival. He's having weddings.
Right, and so that's less than every other weekend.
But it's not temporary. If he's gonna hold 20 events a year in perpetuity from this point forward, he's engaging in that as a home business occupation. That's part of his business plan, and that's a permanent, transient use of his site. He's planning on doing that forever.
But he could do that without building structures. He could do it under a tent and using porta potties. And so, in that sense, I might say that would be temporary. If he's not proposing to build a structure.
Are people applying for MUPs instead, I mean, people aren't seem to be applying for anything, but are they applying for MUPs instead of cups? Because the conditional use permit for a permanent thing is like way more expensive?
They have to come here. It's a full-blown public hearing before the commission, as opposed to a hearing before a single hearing officer. It's a higher level.
I think this demonstrates why we butted to the board on the events ordinance.
You know, I really want to increase everyone's comfort level. It's okay to have an opinion on this.
I don't even have an opinion.
I'm not saying it's not.
I don't have an opinion yet. I have not formed my opinion.
That's fine.
I've been thinking about this since I joined the planning commission, maybe before, and I just don't have an opinion yet. So it isn't like I have an opinion that,
you don't feel it's your place.
Yeah, it's not that I mean, you know me, if I got an opinion, I'll tell it.
No, we've always.
But I don't have an opinion here. I think
enough.
this issue is too important to the public. It's too important to the applicant. It's too important to our tourism. And it's too important economically, and it's too important to long-range health of agricultural land to just go, well, let's pick 20 or let's pick 15 or.
Then it sounds like we're going to need a continuance then.
For me,
to work out just this
I don't think
last
a continuance
question.
will help.
I don't
We'll have
think
the same problem when we come back.